Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here, and welcome back to another horror movie review. I'm finally back from vacation. It was an amazing time. Got to go to the beach, hang out with friends, but um, I am back to finish up my collab with Strange Michael and Goosebumps Boy. I kicked this whole thing off with the idea of doing a collab on the Friday the 13th movies, and they were down for it. So I believe Michael has gotten to part 8 or part 9 so far out of the reviews. I'm going to catch back up with him now on a movie that I really did not want to come back to review, and that is Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Love the cover. Yeah, love the cover. Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. What is this movie about? Unlike the title, this movie supposedly wants to put Jason in Manhattan for the first time, which this movie came out in 1989. Manhattan was still pretty big. Sorry, just woke up. Manhattan was pretty big at that time. It still is now, but it was a very expensive location to shoot at in the 80s, early 90s. And they wanted to put Jason on like the big Hollywood floor mat screen. So their whole title was to put Jason in Manhattan. But unfortunately, due to budget constraints, we only got like 40 minutes in Manhattan, and the rest was just on a cruise ship, which I will delve into right now. Part 8 picks up after part 7. Jason's tied back down to the bottom of Crystal Lake by Tina's father, who was resurrected to put him back down under. And these two kids, Jim and his girlfriend, they are on a little cruise boat. Their schoolmates have been waiting on them. They're supposed to be there, but they wanted to have a good time at Crystal Lake first. So he drops the anchor after he goes on this whole spiel about Jason Voorhees and his mom that went crazy and he came back for revenge. They say he's still at the bottom of this lake here. So he drops the anchor, and unknown to him, they had parked next to a power line, and this power line is connected right up to Jason's body where the dock is from part 7. He was chained back under there by Tina's dad, right under a power line, mind you. And when the anchor cuts the power line, it shocks it, and it sends electrocution all the way through Jason's body, and this is what resurrects him once again, like part 6, electrocution. So he breaks free from the chains, and he gets up on the boat, kills these two teenagers, and gets a new hockey mask that this dude had, which the hockey mask looks pretty cool. I'll give the movie that. The way Jason looks in this film, not a fan. But he's once again played by Kane Hodder, who I think had a better performance in part 7, but I think was a lot funnier in this role than he was in part 7. Part 7, he was just very big, mean, and scary, but this film, I think he went a little bit more comedic, since this film does have some funny parts to it. But then we open up with our main character, Rennie, who has her dog Toby. She's going on this cruise ship, and her teacher, Miss Van Luther, I believe that's her name. If I pronounced it wrong, I'm sure you guys will correct me. But they're going on this big cruise ship, and Rennie's trying to get over her fear of water, which her uncle, who's actually a professor, is the teacher of all these kids. But school is out, so they wanted to have this whole cruise plan for all the graduates. And her uncle is really hesitant about her going on there, and you can tell he's very strict with the kids. I really do not like this person. Yeah. So we then meet up with her love interest, Scott, and I believe that's his name. If I can look here. Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, Sorry, this movie has a lot of characters that are very forgetful because that's how bad this movie is. Um, it's either Scott or something. I know it started with an S, but that's all I can remember. This movie is terrible. And no, it's not because I woke up. Trust me, I have good memory when I wake up. I'm a little loopy, but I can remember this film. But God, this movie had such forgettable characters. Um, he introduced a few more like Tamara and Julius, who's a boxer. Um, yeah, a lot of these characters were forgetful with like aside a few of them. And when the cruise ship takes off, unbeknownst to them, there's a dockhand and he sees that another boat has floated up. And this is the boat that the two teenagers were killed at when Jason went on the boat. It floats up right next to the cruise ship. And while they're sailing off, Jason manages to hitch a ride on the cruise ship to New York. And chaos ensues. Friday the 13th, Part A, Jason Takes Manhattan was, I gotta be honest, my least favorite of the franchise so far. I really did not like where this movie went. They completely throw you off with this title. Sure, he goes in Manhattan, but it's like it's like an hour, 5 minutes into the film after most of the people have been killed off. And the cruise ship, I guess, was like a nice set away from a camp or just around the lake setting, but by God, was it so lackluster with just the writing and the way some of the characters were played out. Oh, dude, the freaking visions that Rennie has. Okay, so she has this fear of drowning, and her whole fear is with Jason because she almost drowned in Crystal Lake. Her uncle saved her. There's a twist behind that, but you'll see later in the film. I won't spoil that. With how bad this film is, I really don't want to spoil it, so you guys can really see how bad it is. She has this whole fear with lakes and drowning, and she has these visions of boy Jason who, God, it got annoying. I didn't mind it like one time, but even then I was confused and like why all these visions were happening. But after that one time, I got tired of seeing it like every 5 minutes. It was a freaking vision of Jason and his, it was so annoying, man. Oh my God. I hated it. It was so annoying. The kills, I gotta be honest, none of them were memorable except for like one where he uses a sauna rock to punch a dude in the chest with and like burns up his chest. I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's another one where he punches a dude's head off on a roof. Other than that, most of these kills are very forgetful. You can tell the kills have made a downfall since Part 5. Yeah, it really, most of the kills were forgettable except for like 2 or 3. Kane Hodder's performance was all right. These characters were forgetful, like just the uncle was forgettable. I hated him. Then you have the captain of the ship who is Sean, that's his name, Sean. Rennie's love interest, Sean. Sean's dad, he's so just bland, and then his helper. Yeah, just most of these characters, except for like Sean and Rennie are just forgettable. Maybe Rennie's a teacher, but yeah, they were just bland and the writing was terrible. Which I won't blame the director for. Like, he went out to film most of this in Manhattan, but due to budget constraints, he really couldn't do that. Which I won't blame him for like not being able to film in Manhattan, but I think Harry Manfredini came back to do the score, which, Harry, my guy. Why would you agree to sign on this film? But anyway, at least the soundtrack was all right. I will give that film some props. It does have a pretty good soundtrack. Other than that, this movie was totally forgettable. The ending freaking sucked. Lamest ending I've ever seen in a freaking Friday the 13th movie. Maybe one of the lamest endings I've seen in a horror film. Just Jesus. You'll see that once you watch the film. But That has been my review on Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Very bad film. If I had to rate it on a 10 star basis or on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it like a 6. Yeah, this film was very forgettable. So, what is everyone's thoughts on Jason Takes Manhattan? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on it. This film's terrible. I'll leave a link to Michael and Goosebumps Boys channels down in the comment section down below. Please go check them out. Amazing guys. And I will see you all in the next review. God bless and have a good weekend. Bye, everyone. God bless.